The Star Husband Tale. Once upon a time, in a remote village, there lived a beautiful young woman named Aisha. Aisha was fascinated by the sky and would spend hours gazing at the stars every night. One night, she saw a star shining in the sky that was unlike any other. The star was so bright that it captivated her, and she fell in love with it. Every night, Aisha would talk to the star. She would tell it stories and sing it songs. The star would respond in its own way, twinkling its light at her. They fell in love, and Aisha decided to give up everything to live with the star in the sky. One evening, Aisha saw the star's light descend to the ground and transform into a handsome man. The man asked Aisha if she wanted to come with him to the sky and live among the stars. Aisha didn't hesitate and said yes, and the man lifted her into the sky. Aisha and the starman got married and lived happily ever after. Aisha would dance with the stars and sing songs with them. The starman always protected her with love. However, one day, Aisha began to miss her family and friends on Earth. She expressed her longing to the starman and asked for permission to return to Earth. The starman was sad, but Aisha's happiness was more important to him than anything else. He kissed Aisha and sent her back to Earth. When Aisha landed on Earth, everything had changed. Her family and friends had aged, and the village was completely different. Aisha longed to return to her starman and their home in the sky. One night, she saw her shining star in the sky and whispered her wish to it. The starman heard Aisha's voice and took her back to him. Aisha and the starman returned to the sky and lived happily ever after. The Crow and the Fox Tale. Once upon a time, in a forest, there lived a cunning fox and a greedy crow. The fox was always looking for a way to steal the food from the crow's beak. One day, he saw the crow perched on a branch of a tree with a large piece of cheese in its beak. The fox's mouth watered, and he began to make a plan to get the cheese. The fox climbed the tree and approached the crow. He told the crow how beautiful the cheese was and how much he loved it. The crow was flattered and decided to let the fox taste the cheese. He raised the cheese slightly into the air with his beak and told the fox to taste it. But the fox had a cunning plan. As soon as he took the cheese in his mouth, he climbed the tree and reached the highest branch. He refused to give the crow's cheese back. The crow became angry and began to beg the fox, but the fox had no intention of giving up the cheese, as he believed the crow had tried to trick him. The crow was desperate and decided to teach the fox a lesson. He found a few small stones and started throwing them at the fox's head. As the stones hit the fox's head, he began to cry out in pain. Finally, he agreed to return the crow's cheese and climb down from the tree. As the fox walked proudly home with the cheese, he realized that the crow had tricked him. The crow had hidden the stones he had thrown at the fox's head in a hole beforehand, and when the fox approached the stone, he threw it. The fox realized he had been deceived, but it was too late. The crow took back his cheese and flew away into the forest. The story of Mother Earth. Once upon a time, in a vast void, there was only darkness and silence. In this void, there lived a powerful and wise spirit named Mother Earth. Mother Earth was tired of being alone and dreamed of living in a world of her own creation. One day, Mother Earth decided to make her dream a reality. Using her power, she created earth and stone from the void. She shaped the earth to form mountains, valleys, and plains. She also used the stones to create rocks and islands. To fill the world with water, Mother Earth shed her tears. Her tears turned into oceans, seas, and lakes. To make the world green, she also sowed seeds. The seeds turned into grass, flowers, and trees. To fill the world with animals, Mother Earth also created creatures from the earth and water. Animals of all kinds, from tiny insects to giant whales, filled the world. Finally, Mother Earth decided to create humans in her own image. She shaped human figures from earth and water and breathed life into them. Humans spread across the world and began to explore the beauty Mother Earth had created. Mother Earth gave humans the task of caring for and protecting the world. She taught them to live in harmony with nature and to respect all living things. The story of the haunted mansion. Once upon a time, there was a dilapidated mansion on the outskirts of town. The mansion had a dark and mysterious past, and no one knew who had lived there or what had happened to them. Many scary stories were whispered about the mansion, and no one dared to go near it at night. One day, a group of brave teenagers decided to explore the mansion. They snuck into the mansion at night, and as they entered, they were met with an eerie atmosphere. Everything was covered in dust and cobwebs, and there was a heavy smell in the air. As the teenagers explored the mansion, they began to hear strange noises. They saw shadows and felt like they were being followed. They started to get scared, but they didn't dare to turn back. Finally, they entered a large hall. In the middle of the hall was a dining table set with old, worn-out chairs. Candles were burning on the table. As the teenagers approached the table, a sudden storm broke out. The wind began to howl, and lightning flashed. The teenagers screamed in terror and tried to escape, but the doors were locked. Suddenly, a pale-faced woman with dark eyes like holes and a terrible voice appeared at the table. It was a ghost. The teenagers were so scared that they fainted. When they woke up in the morning, they were lying outside the mansion. They never went back to the mansion again. From that day on, the story of the ghost in the haunted mansion spread throughout the town. No one dared to go near the mansion, and there were rumors of terrible noises coming from the mansion at night. The haunted mansion still stands on the outskirts of town, and it is still a mysterious place that no one dares to enter. Some believe that the ghost still lives in the mansion, and that those who see it will be cursed forever. The Wolf Guide in the Forest. Once upon a time, deep in the green forests, there lived a young girl named Adaya. Adaya grew up surrounded by nature, understanding every sound and whisper of the forest. One day, while Adaya was alone in the forest, she got lost and didn't know what to do in fear. At that moment, a powerful wolf appeared before her. The wolf looked at Adaya and purred soothingly. Adaya saw wisdom and guidance in the wolf's eyes instead of fear. The wolf led Adaya safely through the forest back to her home. From that day on, Adaya began to respect the wolf's spirit and believed in it as her forest guide. Every time she struggled in the forest, she prayed to the wolf spirit and asked for its help. The wolf spirit never let her down, giving her strength and courage to overcome challenges. Over time, Adaya began to be able to communicate with all the animals in the forest. She understood their languages and could feel their emotions. In this way, she took care to maintain the balance in the forest and to respect all living things. Adaya's story spread throughout the tribe, and people nicknamed her Wolf Whisperer. Adaya thus became the tribe's sage and protector, working to ensure that all living things lived in peace.